Welcome to Almost Tier 1, the deck list, profile, and analysis cast here on the Dice Commando YouTube channel. In each episode of Almost Tier 1, we present and dissect a fresh and off-meta deck list, going in-depth into the team comps, card choices, and play strategy. All decks discussed on Almost Tier 1 are standard format legal as of date of publishing. Almost Tier 1 is a component of the Dice Commando YouTube channel. Live play, profiles, analysis, and unboxing and product reviews. Find Dice Commando at www.youtube.com/DiceCommando and connect via Facebook at Dice Command. Hello everyone, this is AT1, coverage of Star Wars Destiny deck Thrawn Luce. Today's guest host is Brentonn, a longtime player on the Dice Commando IRL games and member of the Suburban Dice Commandos. Today he'll be walking us through his Thrawn Luce deck. We also want to extend a congratulations to Brentonn and his wife for expanding their family. Best of luck, guys. Thanks for taking the time for us, Brentonn.
I know a lot of you love Thrawn as a character, and so do I, and I really want him to work in Destiny. His ability lets you look at the top 4 cards of a deck after you activate him, and his power action lets you reveal the top 4 cards of an opponent's deck and play an event, spotting that opponent's cards as if they were your own. I've chosen to pair him with Elite Luce instead of the more popular Sentinel Messenger pairing. The Messenger's ability is amazing, and Armored Reinforcement is a great card, but it requires you to have resources to play your vehicle, and it makes you susceptible to cards like Desperate Measures and Convergence. Luce has pretty decent dice, and her ability lets you discard a card from your hand that costs an odd number to reroll a die, which can work as soft mitigation. Bringing her 2 dice makes Thrawn's 2 focus side much more impactful, and bringing Luce also lets me use Possessed in my deck. For the most part, the deck is pretty much what you would expect in a Villain Admiral deck, including the 4 titles, 6 0-cost mitigation cards, and 6 cards to help generate resources. I've included Sonic Detonators as an upgrade that should be overwritten by Admiral in later rounds, but it's also a tech against Ewoks, but that spot is definitely flexible. This deck excels at disruption, and I've included a lot of cards that amplify Thrawn's ability, such as Mastermind, Separatist Embargo, Probe, and Counterintelligence. My battlefield of choice is the Outer Rim Outpost, which is a great target for Grand Moff, and it also helps to get the resources and draws required to play Admiral. The primary strategy for this deck is to use Admiral to get 3 activations of Thrawn in a single round. Thrawn's ability combined with your disruptive cards will often let him extend games into later rounds. Playing a 3 or 4 cost upgrade on Thrawn early allows you to overwrite later with Admiral, paying 2 resources to ready him, and then getting the Admiral die into the pool, ideally to the special, to then ready him a second time. Possessed is a back-breaking card against big little decks, and opponents will often switch focus to Luce to get rid of this powerful downgrade. It allows you to resolve one of the attached character's character dice as your own, and no one likes it when you play with their toys. Separatist Embargo is a very versatile card. If you know of a critical card for your opponent's deck, it can be an incredible game changer for just 1 resource. Alternatively, if you know, either through Thrawn's ability or otherwise, what mitigation your opponent has in hand, you can use Embargo to call that mitigation and protect Thrawn's valuable dice. Thrawn's ability is pretty unique, and it can be incredibly powerful. It does take some practice, a good knowledge of popular decks, and a decent amount of focus, but it's a lot of fun. Many times you'll feel like you're 3 steps ahead of your opponent, knowing exactly what's going to be in their hand the next round. In addition to the hand knowledge, using their own high-impact cards like Easy Pickings against an opponent can really swing a game. Your opponent will have to consider not only the mitigation you might run, but also the mitigation that might be on the top of their deck. Unfortunately, I think that being at 19 points and not being able to run Retribution causes Thrawn to suffer. Having his dice removed really hurts, and aside from Embargo, there's not much you can do to protect them. Additionally, you do need resources for this deck to click, and while it has some tools to generate those resources, it can be susceptible to hand or resource disruption. Finally, the deck can die to bad draws, this version more so than the Sentinel Messenger version, which does have more card draw mechanics. If both of your admirals are at the bottom of your deck, it's going to make the game pretty difficult, though not impossible, for you to win. Despite these weaknesses, the tools that Admiral Thrawn brings to the table mean that you have a chance to go off in any matchup. If you enjoy playing almost tier 1 decks and you want to become a master strategist, Thrawn is the deck for you. Go Commando.
Do you have unique or spicy deck tech you would like to share with the community? Dice Commando is happy to offer guest spots here on AT1 to present your personal brainchild. If interested, please reach out to Dice Commando through our Facebook page for details. Thank you for watching Almost Tier 1 on the Dice Commando channel. If this was something you enjoyed, please give us the feedback, like and subscribe. Check out the rest the Dice Commando channel has to offer. If nothing else, go Commando.